All right, welcome to the wrap-up with the Radman and the Mighty OBA. Buffalo Bills had another tough loss on yesterday, 23-20 in Houston. Radman is down in Houston, Texas. What are your thoughts? Josh Allen had a pretty tough day yesterday.
Tough game. He did. Josh Allen had a very difficult game. 9 of 30 for 131 yards. He was just awful yesterday. It looked like he didn't. The middle of the field was open all day. He wouldn't throw it to Mac Hollins. Played his best game as a Buffalo Bill yesterday. Believe me, folks, he was wide open, and he was turning that cornerback inside out. The guy that was covered, he made a head and shoulder fake on him. The man just dropped to the ground, and Hollins went in and turned. He was wide open, and for some reason, Josh Allen bounced the football toward his way. He saw him at the last minute. He didn't set himself and throw because Hollins was open. Terrell Shavers was open. Those two guys could have helped the Bills an awful lot in winning that game yesterday afternoon.
Why did they go away from finding James Cook in space? I don't understand. They went away from running the ball, and then finding this guy in space has been lethal for this team this year, and it seemed that Brady went away from that.
Yeah, it went away from it. It just seemed like Josh Allen didn't react well. It looked like he was intimidated once again by Stephon Diggs being in the same building with him. He looked like he did when Stephon Diggs was with a member of the Buffalo Bills. He wasn't even he's with the Texans now. You were supposed to show, man, the flat was open all day too. He could have dumped it off to Ty Johnson or James Cook. They could have picked up easy first downs from just throwing the ball into the flat area. Instead, Josh Allen kept trying to throw to the sidelines and throwing the ball out of bounds, throwing it over the head of the receivers. He did not look good. It's like every time they start mentioning him for MVP candidates, he shows you why he's not a true MVP candidate.
And another thing, George, defensively, you gave up a long touchdown, no safety help. And I'm saying to myself, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer have spoiled this franchise over the last 7 years.
Yes.
You've got some new guys back there, including Damar Hamlin, that really need to step their games up if they want to continue their play in NFL, because you've got to get there on those plays.
Yeah, Damar Hamlin, you almost have to take him off the field because he won't come up and win a ball. He's not making contact with the defender. He's not with the offensive player. He stays back when they catch the ball. Then he wants to make the tackle. But you got to come up and hit these guys. He's not a hitter. You need a guy like the Cole Bishop. Look like he can hit. We know Taylor Rapp, the starter who's out, can hit. Mike Edwards was in a little bit, but you need somebody that can come up and hit and make contact and try to get you an incompleted pass. Don't make the tackle after the pass is completed and you stop and wait for them to catch the ball almost. Hamlin, man, they need to find somebody better than Damar Hamlin out there on the field, as well as Cole Bishop is a rookie. He blew that coverage. He definitely did. He came in. He was ahead of Rasul Douglas when Rasul Douglas let the receiver go back. When the receiver started running past him, Nico Collins, and Rasul Douglas looked in the back and didn't see nobody. He looked back behind him and said, "Man, what that?" He started like, "What you doing up here? You're supposed to be back behind. You're supposed to be down the field. I'm releasing Nico Collins to you." And Cole Bishop did whatever. For some reason, he ran up ahead of Rasul Douglas. So, Cole Bishop is like a deer in headlight. He don't know what the heck he's doing out there.
Yeah, he's young,
Yeah, he's young. He just
I was hoping, George, that Mike Edwards would have stepped up and become more of a impact player, but he's had, a few injuries. But this is a guy that has a championship pedigree.
Who's that?
Mike Edwards.
Mike Edwards. He's coming off injury. He's another one that I think as the season goes on, he'll get better with this lineup. And he'll be able to help them. And also that they have some guys on the injured list that could come off an IR pretty soon. That Burgess guy played very well in the preseason. I think he could step right in there, and he understands the safety position better than the guys that the Bills have out on the field right now. I believe it's Terrell Burgess.
Hey, man, I know I'm a little biased because he's my frat brother, but Dwayne Carter has been making plays the last 2 weeks. That play he did yesterday really shows that this guy has a good head on his shoulders, because you've got to know where you're supposed to be and know your job to even make that play. And he had a good read. It seemed that they were getting to Stroud more in the second half, but it seemed that the Bills could not finish this game.
Yes, because Lemuel Tunzo was injured, and you could see he wasn't himself, and the Bills were able to dominate him. Dwayne Coleman was coming right through him, pushing him off, and he had 3 tackles. Dwayne Carter had 3 tackles and 3 combined tackles as well, 2 tackles for a loss, and 1 quarterback hit. I mean, that's excellent for a rookie to start a game and put that on the stat sheet. And what even amazing is Zion Logue, who just came in this past Monday and actually put on the uniform and played, and he had 2 tackles and 2 combined tackles as well in the game. So, I mean, they're finding some guys to fill in for Ed Oliver and Austin Johnson. They're finding guys. This Zion Logue, I think he can replace Austin Johnson because he has a motor on him, and right. He's got the pedigree playing 2-time. He was there for the 2-time national champion Georgia Bulldogs.
And Smoot also made a big-time play yesterday. He knocked that ball out of Stroud's hands. So you're getting some play out of these young players, and that's a good thing. You're just not you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball in these games, not starting well. And once again, the Bills came out of halftime, and I thought they played pretty well. You and I were texting each other, and I thought the Bills were in a position to win that game. But yeah. Once again, in a critical situation, it all falls on the head coach, and a lot of people are upset with the decisions that were made by Sean McDermott yesterday.
Yeah, and then during the meeting we had with the coach a little while ago, he seemed you wanted to bench him and bench him and put Trubisky in. I was saying when they got the ball, when Dwayne Smoot knocked the ball out of the hands of C.J. Stroud, and the Bills recovered it at the Texans 15-yard line, go in for the score with Trubisky. Trubisky is your guy. Finish the game with him. You know Josh got some type of head injury. He done got his head bounced off the turf twice. Had to go out there, and he laid motionless on the field. Why are you going to put the game in his hands?
Right. I didn't understand that.
Who does that?
And I think the NFL is going to look very closely at the decisions of the Bills staff for putting Josh Allen back in that game. And one of the questions I didn't get to with Coach McDermott, one of the responsibilities of the head coach is to protect players from themselves. And I think yesterday that failed to happen.
It did. Yes, it did. And also it lets you know that Sean McDermott really doesn't seem to care about that part of the game, because why in the heck wouldn't you allow Trubisky to go in? Your quarterback had bounced his head off the turf, number one. Number two, his stats, 56 passer rating, 9 out of 30 for 131 yards. Terrible. He had a terrible day at the office. Why wouldn't you want to make a change and try to win the game with your backup quarterback? Give him the opportunity to win this game. And yeah, Josh will come back and start next Sunday or at the next game, but give you a chance to win. And remember in the playoff game, he had a guy out there, Cole Beasley, playing with a broken leg, and had the other guy, another receiver, Gabe Davis, had a high ankle sprain, and both of them couldn't even get off the line of scrimmage. So this guy just seems that doesn't care that his guys are injured and don't want to rely on his bench. And why have a bench if you're going to put the guy with a broken leg out there to play?
Yeah. Hey, in our last minute, what do you think the Bills coming off of two losses in a row? This has happened before. Now they've got to go to New York against an upstart Jets team with Aaron Rodgers. What do you think? You think they can bounce back? I mean, they really have not. They've made adjustments in these games, but have not been able to follow through, especially against the Ravens. And yesterday, that was a game for the taking. I think that game could be put on the head coach. I
had that as a win. Yeah, that was the head coach losing that game, because you could have got the overtime. You were running the ball. You get the ball at the 30-yard line after, let's say, the kickoff, win the toss, or if your defense hold them, you get the ball in decent field position, your own 20 or 30-yard line. You could run the ball, space it out, run Cook, one to Ty Johnson. Yeah, the guys were averaging 5 yards a carry. Johnson, Cook, over 4 yards of carry. You got to run. You had a good chance to beat that team. You were running over Subtle. Subtle was getting cleat marks on him as usual, like he used to do when he was with the Bills. Man, they were running all over him as usual. The Bills should have been able to continue running the football, take the game to overtime, and go after it. This week, Quentin Williams, Josh Allen normally has his worst games against the Jets. I don't see it getting better for Josh Allen this week against the New York Football Jets. The defensive front and Deion Dawkins running his mouth during the summer. Hey, man, Deion, I hope you be ready for a big game this week because, man, the Jets heard what you said. They commented back in the summer. It's going to be on that offensive line on Monday Night Football. It's going to be a fight out there on that field Monday night.
All right, that's the wrap up with the Radman and the Mighty Oba. We'll see you later in the week as we get ready for the pregame show. Excellent show, brother.
Hey, thank you.